What? Yeah, I've heard about it, but I kind of think it's a little too good to be true. It is. It is very convincing. It might be real, but there's just so much to it that I don't know. But I'll tell you what. If it is real, I don't even know what to, like, my mind's gonna be blown. This is incredible. So, I mean, I guess we could talk about it. We could talk about it, see what it would mean for this series if it is real, and kind of relate it to what may happen regardless. Alright, let's go. Welcome everyone, this is AndresRestart, and today we're going to be talking about a rumor that came out back in 2014. The rumor was for a game or a set of games called Pokemon Plus and Minus. Now I'll put a link in the description below so you can go over all of the details here. But basically, this game describes several very interesting things about the future of Pokemon. This is before we knew about the Nintendo Switch. It was back in 2014. I'm not even sure we knew about the NX at this point yet. But we all knew the Wii U was failing, and Nintendo definitely was probably looking into creating another next-gen system. So the idea that early dev kits would be sent out to Game Freak weren't necessarily too far-fetched, but still, a rumor like that usually doesn't hold too much water. But here's the thing. Within that rumor, it talked about a portable and console unit, two different play modes, which relates it obviously to the Nintendo Switch, and to predict that the next system would be both a portable and console unit, that's a pretty damn good guess to going all the way back to 2014. But what makes it even more interesting is that it's called Pokemon Plus and Minus, and that kind of relates to the Nintendo Switch's Joy-Cons, Plus and Minus. Both of those are in each controller. So maybe there's some reality here, maybe there is something here, maybe it could be true, it is certainly possible. But when you go over the entirety of the rumor, there's so many different details that they already have in place in this rumor, it seems kind of more like a wish list. So I'm more inclined to think that this is more of a lucky guess. Like, if the amount of information they had was a bit more lesser, I would think that it was more likely. Because if you go back all the way to 2014, I find it really hard to believe that Game Freak would have all these different details already set in stone, or even be this close to sort of understand what they're going to do with the game. But I'll tell you this, if it is real, the premise that a Pokemon game has been in development for over 4 years is really cool. And by the time it comes out in 2019, that's 5 years. That's 5 years if this rumor is real, and that would be one of the longest, if not the longest, development cycle for a mainline Pokemon game, for any Pokemon game, really. And if that's the case, this is just an incredible thing, and I definitely think it's at least worth looking into, because the rumor does predict the way the Nintendo Switch is, and the premise of Plus and Minus does kind of go really well with the Joy-Con. That would be a pretty good code word for the game back in the day. So could it be real? Maybe, but like I said before, because there's so much details within this rumor, I find it really hard to believe that they would know all of this information from so early on in the game. And let's just say the rumor's real. Let's say it's real. All of this information that's in here, all of it's subject to change, because development is fluid. Even if they were employing ideas back in 2014, a lot of those ideas will certainly have changed or need to have been worked around as they get used to the actual Switch system and get closer to actually finalizing what the game may actually be. That all said, some of the things that they say within this rumor are really cool. The idea that Game Freak will finally be utilizing some of the ideas that they've wanted to use for years makes sense, because the Nintendo Switch is the most powerful system they've ever worked on when it comes to Pokemon games. So they have a lot more power here, they can accomplish a lot more, and we've already seen a little bit of that with Pokemon Let's Go. We see Pokemon roaming around in the overworld, we see HD visuals, we see a lot more visual, very well done cutscenes. So these kinds of things are things that I expect in Generation 8. Like, I fully expect Pokemon following you around and Pokemon roaming the overworld to be common mainstays from now on, because the Nintendo Switch is far more capable, and I'm pretty sure the reason we never saw it beforehand was for that very reason. All of the handheld systems just weren't powerful enough to run well and have all these different Pokemon roaming the overworld, but now it's possible, and I still feel pretty confident that's something we're definitely going to be seeing in Generation 8 for Pokemon. But there's another really interesting thing from this rumor that I want to talk about, and that's that this rumor talks about there being MMO-like features, like it actually kind of functioning like an MMO on the terminal unit, the home console docked unit, so when you're at home playing on the internet, having a stable internet connection, you can actually play it as if it's an MMO, and then in portable mode it functions more like a normal Pokemon game. That is mind-blowing. That would mean that this is the Pokemon game of Pokemon games, the Pokemon game we've dreamed of for years and years and years. The premise of Generation 8 Pokemon actually being an MMO, that's just astounding. But is that a reasonable expectation? I'm gonna try and dial our expectations back a little bit. I don't think it's probably a full-on MMO. Whatever Generation 8 Pokemon is, I don't think it's gonna be a full-on MMO. But if you look at the games that we saw on the 3DS with X and Y, and then Sun and Moon, it looked like they were definitely playing around with ideas about more of a social system, like the player search system in Generation 6. These are the kind of ideas that are sort of soft little details and mechanics that are relatable to an MMO experience. So in a way you could say that Pokemon has been building up to that over the years. I do think they kind of are, but to make that jump already, now, on the Nintendo Switch, is it time to get that game? I don't know, and I'm not entirely sure we'll ever actually get there. But if we do, man, that would be incredible, and I would just love it. And I think it is possible on the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch is capable of doing that to at least some extent, or at least have a lot of MMO-like mechanics when you're actually connected to the internet in docked mode. That is possible, and that would just be an astounding thing. So maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but nevertheless, Generation 8 Pokemon is going to be on the Nintendo Switch. And historically, the second Pokemon game on the actual system from Game Freak always takes that next big jump. So if you thought Pokemon Let's Go was pretty special, I'm pretty damn confident the Generation 8 Pokemon is going to be even more special, even more of a jump for the Pokemon series, and it's going to be a really cool thing to see when the game is finally revealed in 2019. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Pokemon Plus and Minus is real? Or if not, do you think that the actual Pokemon game that we're going to see in 2019 is going to be something similar or something different altogether? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm really curious what you guys have to say. But that's all for now, everyone. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I really appreciate it. And if you're new here and you love Nintendo content, make sure to subscribe and also maybe hit that notification bell. But that's all for now, everyone. See y'all really soon. Bye.